Okay, onigiri, onigiri. Huh? Yo, I had some salmon I was salting in here. Have you seen it?
Sorry, we had it for lunch.
Hey everybody, it's Tim. I am the Dizzy Daddy, and if you recall my last video, which was the Irish soda bread with meatloaf sandwich, you will remember that I was going to do onigiris that day, but realized it was St. Patrick's Day, so I wanted to do something for the occasion, so I did an about face and changed it up. Well, today, just like you saw earlier, I am having a little bit of ingredient difficulty. And no, my family doesn't just indiscriminately eat my ingredients. That's not what happened. It was just a skit. But I am missing nori sheets, the dried seaweed. I thought I had some, didn't have any. Organization is not the strong suit of the production team here at DizzyDaddyTV, which is me. That's no problem, we can do something else. And what I have in mind is Japanese pasta. And there is a very specific dish that is almost the equal of Omurice in its popularity. It is a childhood dish that I ate many times in my mom's kitchen, and it is a classic. So, without further ado, game plan! Okay! Spaghetti Napolitan or Napolitan. This also falls under the Yoshoku category, that is, once again, Western foods that have been adopted and adapted to suit the Japanese palate. And yes, I am aware there is an onigiri here, not Napolitan, but you know what? My daughter took some time to dry it. It is staying until we finally do that episode. This is basically a dish that was created around the end of the Second World War. And it was created by a Yokohama hotel chef who basically was inspired by the rations of the Allied forces that had occupied Japan. Basically, it was a spaghetti just sauced with a little bit of ketchup. So he kind of spiced it up a little bit, and Napolitan was born. And he called it this. This isn't an actual Italian word or anything. He basically was most likely inspired by the word Naples. In Japan, they call Naples Napoli. So he probably just added the tan on the end and boom, there you go. So this is not an Italian dish. This is a Japanese creation that you will only find in Japan or the kitchens of Japanese mamas the world over. So we're gonna need 2 ounces of spaghetti or 57 grams or the amount that is equal to about the size of a 25-cent piece when you grip it. 1/3 of a cup of leftover sausage or ham or bacon or what have you. Today I have a little bit of leftover European sausage, so I'm going to go with that. My mom used to use salami actually sometimes. Really, you can use anything. 1/3 of a green pepper, about 1/4 of an onion, 1 clove of garlic, 2 to 3 mushrooms, 3 tablespoons of ketchup, about 1 tablespoon of butter, and some Parmesan cheese to finish it off, and of course salt and pepper, olive oil, all that stuff that goes with pasta. Okay, let's get going. Okay, let's prep our ingredients. So, green pepper, first of all. This is about 1/3 of a green pepper that I had left. So, this is what actually gave me the idea in the first place. We're just gonna cut it into little strips like that. Okay, green pepper done. Now, there's about 1/2 an onion. Just gonna use about that much, I think. Just gonna cut this like so. Onion done. 1 little clove of garlic here. And just mince that up really small. Garlic done. Now the mushrooms. Now I kind of trimmed these and pulled the skin off. You don't have to do that. You can just give them a wipe, but if you want to, The skins come off really easy. You just kind of hook it with the edge of your blade here underneath the cap and just pull them off. Just makes them look a little bit more cleaner, a little bit more presentable. Okay, give this a trim and slices. Okay, mushrooms done. Sausage. Now, like I said before, you can use bacon, you could use pancetta, you can use leftover ham. My mom used to use salami, but this is just a little bit of European sausage that I had left over. So I'm gonna go with that today. Okay, so I'm going to saute these ingredients, and in the meantime, I've got my pasta here. That is about 2 ounces, about the size of a quarter when you hold it like this. So I'm gonna get that into my hot water. I've got my boiling water over there. And while this is boiling up, I'm going to get this going. I got my pan set up here. It has been heating on medium heat for a little while. It's getting nice and hot. Just gonna go in with a bit of olive oil. Not quite a tablespoon, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan there. And swirl that around, and we're gonna start with the onion, and we'll saute this for about a minute or so before we add our next thing. Okay, those have been in there for about a minute. They're getting a little bit softer, so I'm gonna go in with the garlic and also right away the mushrooms. And we're gonna go for another, I'd say about 2 to 3 minutes. A lot of people put the green pepper in at this stage too, but I actually don't like a limp green pepper. I like everything to still be a little bit crisp. So for that reason, I kind of go about making the sauce slightly differently. I keep it sort of separate until the very end, because when the vegetables sit around in that hot liquid, in the hot ketchup, they tend to bleed out a lot of their color, and it's just not as pretty. So, you know, you eat with your eyes too. So sort of like my little methodology on it, I guess. Okay, everything's looking pretty good in there. It's sausage time. And again, with the exception of, say, bacon or something like that, any hams or sausages, salamis, pepperoni, whatever you want to use in here, generally they're already cooked, so all you're looking to do is warm them up and get a tiny bit of color on them, and that's all. Sausages are starting to look good. They're definitely heated through now, and now finally our green pepper. I'm gonna go for about 2 minutes with the green pepper in there, and then I'm taking this right off. Not in the pan either. I'm gonna transfer it to a bowl, so we can just kind of chill there and not be super hot. And hit this with just a tiny bit of salt, just to brighten it up. Brighten those flavors. That's good. So, I'm going to transfer it to our bowl here and set that aside. Okay, I have checked on our pasta. It is almost there, but not quite. Almost al dente, but not quite, so that's perfect. That gives me a little bit of time. Now, I have taken a bit of the pasta water out from there, and I'm gonna add about maybe 2 tablespoons. And all that starch in there is just gonna help emulsify the sauce. And to this, we're gonna add our ketchup. 3 tablespoons worth of ketchup. You can add more, some people add lots. I don't really like to do that. Again, maybe I'm getting old, I don't know. I don't like the sauce to be too strong. So we move that ketchup around here. And that heat, just by heating up that ketchup, it kind of mellows out the acidity of it. And even more so once we add our friends butter here. So, well, 2 of these lumps equal about a tablespoon. And once the butter is incorporated in here, we're gonna move pretty quick. So next what's gonna happen is the veggies are coming back in, and then right away the cooked pasta is coming in. We're gonna mix it up, plate it, and we're done. Okay, we don't want anybody hanging out in the heat too long. We don't want those colors to fade or it to get too overcooked. So, I've got my pasta here. It is perfectly al dente. Now, back to our sauce. Got the ketchup, the butter, the pasta water. You see it's nice and creamy. To this we're gonna add the veg and the meat. Mix that up and right away we're going in. Okay, and we're gonna give this a thorough mixing up. And I'm just gonna have a little taste here. Oh yeah. I mean, if you're not used to this idea, you're gonna think right away, that's disgusting. But it really isn't, especially once it goes through all the heat and you add the butter, the pasta water, and it kind of mellows out. It's actually quite nice. Let's plate it. Now, oh, steamy. Okay, so go in with our pasta. Nice. Okay, and then the fixins on top. Let's top it off a bit. It's nice to have a little bit of fresh grated parm. So always good. And a little bit of black pepper. And of course, just a little bit of parsley. And there we go. Okay, my favorite part. Grab a bit of sausage. Well, there's something about these dishes. This dish, omurice, they really do remind me of my childhood. It's so nostalgic and I don't know, this is my comfort food. Once again, the thing I want to point out, the thing I want to point out is that this is nowhere near as harsh as it sounds, right? The idea of putting tomato ketchup right on the spaghetti and then eating it, that's a pretty strong flavor. But this, once it's been cooked out and with butter in it and a bit of that pasta water mixed with all this other stuff, it actually smooths out really nicely and it's just like a really nice tomato sauce with just a little hint of that acidity in there. It's fantastic. Okay, so that concludes our Napolitan episode. And I promise next time we will do the onigiris. Those are classic, they are a basic, a staple, and I do want to do them. So those are coming up next, promise you that. If you like this episode, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and the like button. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks again. We'll see you next time with the onigiris. Take care.